Hey everybody, welcome back. Captain of Industry. Hope you're having a sweet day today. I've let it run for a little bit, and I also did a little bit on the map as well, so I'd like to show you that too. I also think it's a little therapeutic to sometimes just watch the belts. Just watch everything pass by each other and stuff. Every now and then I'll find myself just watching, you know. Anyway, here's what I've come up with in terms of the PCBs. So these four are going to be in charge of making PCBs, at least initially. Each one can do 6 for a total of 24. And we've got the glass, plastic, and copper all routed in here. Now, the copper is routed from this unit storage, and I'm actually having a difficult time filling that. So I kind of was down on copper for a little bit. And so I've got that beefed up and sped up again. And we're feeding maintenance decently, but to get anything else above that, we're not really doing very well on that. Now, I have this, and I can upgrade this to produce more of the impure copper. But if I want to have more of the refined copper, I'm going to need to build more of these on this side. Thankfully, I added enough room on this side to do that. So I'll most likely have some acid heading this direction and get that going as well to increase how much copper we're doing, at least by a couple. And then the belt can also come back across this and just connect to that. And that'll get it back into the existing system for copper. So I'll probably do that offline. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on it now. Actually, I can hit the upgrade button, but I don't want to hit the upgrade button on this. What I need instead is a ship. I don't actually have a ship, so I'm going to come over here. These are all built now, and they're paused because I don't have a ship, okay? That's the thing I need now. And as soon as I get another cargo ship, I'll be able to bring in quartz and coal and get the coal sent this direction. I'm considering adding one of these, getting rid of one of these and making them a liquid tank instead and bringing in some water because I am going to have a little bit of a water problem. As we expand agriculture and as we make these farms the level 2 greenhouses, they begin to use more water. And that water, of course, well, it's got to come from somewhere, and it's just not quite pushing as fast as I'd like on this side. You can see we're almost out of water in that tank now, and that's because I've added this extra pipe here. This extra pipe sends the water as fast as possible to this area and sends it on its way there. But the issue is that I'm not producing enough into this tank to have that happen. If I want water for agriculture right now, I've got to have that pipe really pushing it all through. And I can pause this pipe whenever I want, and that will allow the water to recover in this tank, and the power and stuff can stay on. But that, again, that requires me to pause that pipe. So if I ever need more water for agriculture, I undo this, or I unpause the pipe, and that brings this tank down really quickly. You see how that just like reacts right away? And then if I go ahead and pause the pipe, then the tank begins to fill up again. So in other words, I need more water production in order to get into here because I can't facilitate it fast enough into the system. I do have 2 red pipes feeding this and then a red pipe and a blue pipe coming out. So theoretically, if I'm fully saturating the inputs, then I should have no problem with this output. Unfortunately, I'm not fully saturating both of those inputs. So I do have excess seawater because, like, obviously I'm producing way more seawater than I need. But the problem is I don't have enough steam. So that's where nuclear is going to come in. Nuclear is going to solve that steam problem by allowing me to have the nuclear powered, and then all this extra steam this is generating can then be pushed, instead of into this stuff, can then be pushed into additional water resources. But there's a better way to do it too, and that's just to use the map and to come into this groundwater well and just pull it in from the sea. So I'm also looking to do that too. I've also added another one of these cracking units. We have excess fuel, so we're going to start cracking it, get that extra naphtha that I was short, and I think now everything is pretty stable on this side. So now it's just a matter of expanding and hoping that it's still stable. That's the problem. I did pause this belt because we were a little bit short on maintenance for a little bit here. Steel got paused, basically. And steel, basically what happened is they stopped bringing iron here. And It happened because this was empty, and it still is. The reason why this was empty was because these guys started digging over here, and it's pretty much all dirt, and so they stopped mining the iron. And when they stopped doing that, of course, they stopped dumping it here. So I switched the dump from for these guys to be over here and split the supply. Basically just added both of these tanks as a source. But when that happened, both of them kind of got strained. So instead, what I'm going to do, just to get them going again, as you can see, this is all marked to be mined. It's just they haven't done it yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come over and say, okay, guys, now is the time. Do your thing. And you're supposed to be a ramp, aren't you? You are. You're supposed to be. There you go. Although, I don't think you can really get to that. I think I need to do it over here a little bit further. So we'll go like this. Yeah, with this ramp. And that'll get them down into this area so that they can start mining this resource too. And eventually they'll be over here. But, yeah. They haven't dug this out completely yet either. And I don't want to remove their ability to drive around that. So I'm kind of, well, I'm making sure I don't mess that up. But now it looks like this is too steep to get around it anyway. So what I should do is just go ahead and tell them to mine all of this. This can all be flattened now. Yeah, it doesn't matter. All right, good. So hopefully they'll get on this stuff a little bit. I do probably have a good interest in adding another one of these and maybe a couple more trucks as well, just to facilitate that stuff faster. So anyway, I've been stalling a little bit because I'd like to have red parts, and it's taking a while, but we're almost there to the point where we have 600 of them and we can buy another cargo ship. Instead of buying a cargo ship, though, we do have some more on the map, probably. And so if my ship is repaired, and it's not quite yet, I need those mechanical parts. I'm going to just do a real quick pause on that. Right. This is risky. I'm just going to do this real quick. And I'm hoping that a truck comes over and just grabs them out of here. And then I'll just turn this back on. Where's the truck to grab it? There. You're taking them to the ship. There it is. Okay, so then turn this back on. That'll repair the ship now. So with that done and repaired, I'm going to go and pick a fight with these guys, because last time I lost this fight, I'm not entirely sure how that happened because my battle score is higher than this. But with us being fully healed up instead of going into battle, I went into battle 95% health. I figured that was good enough. But it wasn't. Oh, you brought the mechanical parts here instead. Oh, hang on. Maybe not. Nope, we're good. Okay, so that truck did it. Great. Okay, so this, again, we have a battle score that is 510. So it is higher than the enemies. I'm wondering if there's a better target. Like maybe this one over here it's an easier target. It's one that's a bit more sure. And then we could also opt to bring stuff to the quartz mine because I'm going to need that as well. But that removes my ship. I need a ship anyway. So I'd like to find a ship if I could. So let's actually go pick a fight with these guys and see what happens. Now, I've let it run a little bit, and research-wise, we have uranium enrichment and nuclear reactor. Both of these are done now. And so we can build, you know, the nuclear reactor, the enrichment plant, etc., etc. We have all that stuff now. So just taking a look at the tree, basically power tree is done. Now, there are some extra stuff we could add for power later. And that includes solar panels. They're not very good. Okay, we'll just put it that way. They're not that great. They do give you power, okay? And they give you clean power during the day and all that, but it's not a lot of power. And that's okay. We're just going to use it as a small supplement, right? We can turn those to P1 and we can just build them until we can't build them anymore, and they'll just, you know, I have never used them, so I have no idea. If they take maintenance, that might be a problem, which they probably do. If they take people, which I don't think they should, but if they take people, that's even a bigger problem. So nuclear is supposed to be built right here, and that just requires this area to get flattened. So I really do need this area flattened. and I'm just kind of like waiting for the trucks to go ahead and do it. I'm going to readjust this to be here. I think this will be enough room. I don't think I need to go all the way into here. But I really wanted it to be done here. So I'm going to try and get that to be done here. I like also how this side is full of water constantly and feeding more water into the system than this side, which is, yeah, like consistently out of water on this side. And we are definitely having a water problem. Crops and stuff are having a problem keeping water supply up. It looks like it's fine for now, but as this tank gets empty, and it is now, that's going to stop being a case. It basically comes down to me unpausing and pausing this belt, or this pipe. As soon as I let water flow through this pipe, then this tank starts to lose a little bit. I don't know, it's weird. Like the water gets backed up in these units, and that's why I built this, so that we could get the water out of there faster, and then these units could start pushing their water out faster, because I just need these to run, and they're not running, not very well, and the red pipe is just completely overloaded, you know. So I'm wondering if it's possible, or maybe a wise idea, to, I don't know, somehow connect these two to push even more into this pipe. This would be one of those situations where having the larger tank would be advantageous, because you have 4 inputs, and right now I'm fully saturating the 2 inputs here with the maxed out pipe. I think this is the case to be made, where the larger tank is nice because you can do stuff like that. But yeah, we'll do the best we can with getting our crops to be watered as much as possible here. We'll keep an eye on this too. I might put an alert on this and say, I want you to notify me if you are under 50%, and then that way I'll know when it happens. But otherwise, I would love to just upgrade all these fields to the maximum greenhouse 2. I just have to, you know, I have to have the water to support it. Yeah, sea battle, and we won. And it looks like that's just something to explore. There was some electronics in here, some servers. It's kind of nice. 36 microchips was in here too, so that's a decent haul, but it's not what we, you know, set out to get. It's not what we were hoping for, or at least not what I was hoping for. So I'll come back over here, and I'm just gonna have to pick fights with pirates and, you know, try to, the best I can anyway, try to find another cargo ship on the map. So anyway, PCBs. I showed you this stuff earlier, all right? So I've got these paused because they have nowhere to go, and I'm considering, due to the speed in which we make red parts and all that stuff, I'm thinking what we do now is we get rid of one of these labs. And so I'm thinking this lab can go. Now, when I do that, something amazing happens. First off, we get 150 kilowatts of power back, which is nice. We get 30 workers back, which is also very good. This thing is still taking parts input, which is weird. Don't do that. Yeah, don't input parts. Don't do that. I mean, I think that goes into the storage yard, right? All these parts are here, 15. Don't they go into the shipyard? There should be like 16 in here when we're done, right? Yeah, good. All right, so we don't lose them. That's nice. All right, so microchips, electronics, all that stuff. This shipyard's full, and there's really not a whole lot I want to get rid of here, but we have 209 construction parts in here. So that's kind of cool. We have 929 construction parts. So I think what I want to do is a couple of things. I'm going to go ahead and tell them to deliver to the quartz mine, and we'll start loading the ship. And I think that's probably going to be like right away. It's only 200, right? Okay, 300 we have to deliver. So there's that 300. That gives us 720 left. What I can do then is come over to the town and say, hey, I want to buy a cargo ship. I'll just click that. And then I should see a cargo ship, yep, make its way right up into here. So that's beautiful, all right? So now what we got is another cargo ship coming in on the side here. This is a maxed out one, it's a big one. And then what we want to do with this one, we have 3 coal and 3 quartz. Now I want a 2-to-1 ratio on quartz and coal. However, I'm going to be using coal for other things rather than this. So I am going to go half and half here. And so we're going to be bringing in more coal, but we're going to be kind of repurposing that supply of coal by redirecting these belts so that they go that way. And ultimately, the coal supply from this ship will end up heading this direction and probably just providing coal to this entire workflow here. So everything else will, just sort of work itself out from that. If I notice that coal is getting backed up in this, then I will simply reverse the long belt and tell the coal to work its way back even further back to these ones. And I'll just keep working that back until we have no coal backs up here. And that way the quartz can do its thing. So I'm going to turn these on. And that's going to tell the ship to, go get coal. Now, it has fuel, but currently it says there's nothing to pick up. So I'm thinking what will happen is it's going to need me. There's plenty of coal here, but I think what it's going to need is it's going to need me to get this done too, this coal mine here too. So I've got a lot of stuff to clear out with pirates, basically, is what I'm saying. Statue of maintenance is done for this. Now, for this, we can reduce our maintenance load with this, which is nice. And it says there's not enough maintenance right now, so that is something we should look at. But we have to constantly provide that structure with fuel gas. So I need somewhere where I'm producing a lot of fuel gas, and that's probably right over here. So fuel gas is being generated constantly from these units. So what I think I'm going to do is, and I don't actually know how to build this because I haven't seen it yet. So let me go into like this landmarks. Let's read this. It requires 10 maintenance. Statue that not just demonstrates the wealth of your island, but also serves as a celebration of your industrial success. Yeah, it has such a positive effect on your population that it reduces your island's maintenance requirement by 5%. In addition, in order to get this bonus, the statue needs to be provided with fuel gas on a continuous basis. However, if you don't maintain your statue, you will get a negative effect because nothing demonstrates your work, demotivates your workers from performing maintenance more than seeing a broken statue of maintenance. You can build this multiple times should your wealth allow it, but you only get the bonus once. So, the statue is enormous. And again, it needs fuel gas constantly provided for it. And I was thinking of putting it in here, but it doesn't look like it's going to fit. It's not going to fit in that little spot. Aw. All right. Well, it'll fit here, which is kind of interesting. But then I can't get the fuel gas in there very easily. It's a cool statue, though, isn't it? It's awesome. I think maybe we'll... Yeah, it needs to be near the fuel gas. Like, it's right over here. But I'm also noticing, like here, you notice that the fuel gas is not full. So we are also boiling that fuel gas. So I need to provide more. I need to somehow generate more. When we upgrade these, the water treatment plants, when we upgrade these, and by upgrade, I simply mean we're going to start using filter media and more chlorine, and we're going to get more water. That's another way to get more water. We'll be producing 50% more sludge. So we'll need an extra 2 of these. And you know what? Like, that's going to generate fuel gas too. The other thing that I think could be interesting is we could put the statue over here. And then what happens is, since we have all these potatoes and we have crops, we have fields, that just simply cannot produce, like they cannot get rid of their potato supply, right? What I could do is break down some of the potatoes and use the fuel gas from that as well as the compost for additional fertilizer. That's not bad. We can see how that goes. The only problem I have with this is that the statue is so expensive to build. Like 200 red parts, 400 concrete, 300 steel, and 1,000 copper. I don't have that stuff yet, right? And I definitely don't have the copper. So like building this is not really feasible at the moment. But if I was going to build it over here, I could use the fuel gas from the anaerobic digesters. And I could set up one of the anaerobic digesters to produce 5 fuel gas. Right? I don't know exactly how much fuel gas this needs every 60 seconds. It doesn't specifically say how much it needs. I mean, this is one of those things where you either built it before and so you'll probably tell me in the comments, or it says so on the wiki or something like that. But it doesn't specifically say what it is right here. I thought it was 2 per 60 seconds. I thought it was 2. I'm hoping it's 2, but it might be like 2 a minute. If it's any more than that, I might be in trouble there. But I figured I could use the anaerobic digesters, which will create 5 fuel gas from 14 potatoes, and I could get 1 compost for it. So that was an idea. But the thing is, again, it's so expensive to build this thing that like building it over here is it's risky because there's no fuel gas being made over here. So like it makes more sense to make it over here, and then we just need to effectively create more light oil, increase this production, just increase everything to accommodate it, which is less than ideal. Although I do have a full storage on light oil somehow. So I mean, there's a possibility here. Oh, it's because we're full on naphtha now. Oh, cool. So we're producing enough naphtha. So I could potentially just switch this boiler to be a naphtha boiler instead. And then at that point, it will start to use the naphtha supply that we're over now. Although I don't know if we're making that much extra, 36 extra. But then this fuel gas supply could then be used for the statue. And then for additional fuel. So I mean, it's up in the air. Like I really don't know. I think that's probably what I'll end up doing. I can switch this to naphtha, and then build this. The 48 fuel gas that's being used by this boiler then gets consumed by this dude, which creates more diesel. But it's 48 and 36, right? So that excess, that 12 extra, goes into the tank, has nowhere to go. It goes into the statue of maintenance. So I mean, it could work just to put it right here. You know. This could be our towering statue of maintenance. You know? Let's put a pin in that. I think that's a decent idea. I'm going to put a pin in it. Text on the plaque. It says, life can be rough if you don't maintain your stuff. And when things fail, just look at missing entry in the service book. Oh, it does specifically say, okay, 2 every 60 seconds. Perfect. 2 every 60 seconds, and it will reduce maintenance on the whole island by 5%. Which is, I think, a pretty big deal, isn't it? Do we have maintenance statistics in here? MA. Wow, it doesn't show. Maybe it's, oh, it's up here. It's a specific tab. Okay, so like, we're generally pretty good. Things have been fairly unstable for some reason going in through here. I think it's because of that lack of steel. Was really hitting it. Then I boosted it to try to catch it up, which was cool. Then we were holding our own just above our needs, right? I mean, we're pretty consistently above our needs, you know? These little spike downs happen because we're full, or at 100%, and we have nothing to produce, so we produce less. Then we produce more, then we're full, so we produce less. And that just keeps happening. So we're like really close to the peak of our means until we lose, you know, the parts and stuff. So like, it's not about how much... It's not about how many of these we have. It's about the supply going into them. And you can see it's all about machine parts or mechanical parts right now. It's the steel. And I'm not sure why we're not producing enough steel. Because we have full resources on all of this stuff. We are taking some of the supply now from this one and bringing it this way to produce the nitrogen and also to produce that plastic and or that the medical equipment and stuff. But I don't think that's that significant. We should have been producing a lot more steel than that. I mean, this is 24, 48, 96. I mean, so we're producing over 120 steel from this. And then we have these, which should be producing as well. It doesn't look like they're getting... Oh, right. The iron from this side. That's why. Because this steel production is offline with the iron being bad over here. Okay. So, I mean, I probably should just have them do this for a bit just to catch up. Let's try this for a bit. Again, until they catch up. We'll say that we want to ramp you. What in the world are you doing? Yeah, like this. Ramp you down like this, and we'll have you dig to 5 or something in this area. Okay. And we'll just say that you dig to 5 like so. Wow, you're just... Yep, there we go. It's just enough to get that back on track, right? And then this tower will reassign its priority to this area. And then we should start getting iron. And I want you to focus your attention on iron and I want you to focus on iron as well. So it's all about the iron supply. It comes back to the raw resource in this case. I think I'm going to go ahead and scrap that one. We don't need it anymore. And I'm going to quick deliver for that truck. And I think I want, yeah, the other excavator. And then we'll put the truck there too. So I'm still making vehicles too, by the way. Looks like we have some homeless. Oh, you know what? Because we explore, right? And when we explore, we bring back people sometimes. And those people don't have a place to go. So we could evict some people. But I kind of don't want to do that. I don't think it's... I kind of need to do that, don't I? I'm not ready for that other town yet. I could set up a town over here. And then more fields here, but I'm out of the water, so that doesn't make any sense. We could add another town right here and then just put this around that direction with this ethanol. That would create some room. I could also remove this pipe, and I'd have enough room for 1, 2, 3 more add-ons to the town over here, which wouldn't really get in the way, I don't think. But I plan to put fields here. 2 fields are going to go right here. And those fields have specific purposes. And the purpose for those is sugarcane, which has now been added to the list. Sugarcane requires us to find the seeds. And up until this video, I had not found the seeds, but right before starting the recording, I did find the seeds. They were located in this spot right here, one of these spots. I think it was this one. They were located over here. Might have been this one. Either way, found the seeds right before starting the recording, and so now we can do sugarcane. And that makes ethanol way more viable because sugarcane is very useful for creating the ethanol, way more than the other resources are. So one thing we could do from this, we have to grow it, of course, which is going to take water in itself. Then we add additional water from the end product. We get sugar, and the sugar is used for a bunch of stuff. Specifically, we need to make cake. We don't need to, but I'd like to give the people cake. We can get sugar and also biomass from this. Biomass can then, of course, be sent over to those processors and used for compost. But the sugar plus the oxygen supply, we have extra oxygen near the steel here right now. That goes together to create 6 ethanol. Great conversion. And also that 6 ethanol can then be located here. So I plan to process ethanol right here too. And it just, you know, with the pipe, it just comes over and connects to that pipe, and now it's in where it needs to be. And it gets into the system, and then we can make more disinfectant because we'll have more ethanol if we need to. I don't know if we need to yet. This is full. 25 out of 60 is our need. And so, like, we're just barely over one of these. So it doesn't really matter at the moment. Yeah. I know I said I would do something from this, and I got carried away with the statue of maintenance now. I did say I was going to start this process here too, right? And chemical 2 is what we're looking for. Can never remember where this stuff is. Right here. This is what we're looking for. And I still haven't figured out exactly where I want this, because it's one of these things where I don't want to have to move it later, right? It's going to take coal. It's going to take chlorine. The chlorine is really cheap to route. We just bring it around. It's sitting right there, so we just bring it over here. The coal, it's a little more expensive to route, right? Because it's a belt. But I figure if I put this along the path that coal will be taking anyway, it'll probably work itself out better. So I'm thinking if I do something like this, kind of like here, right up against that. Nah. Well, we're outputting 2 resources from this, so we want to go here and here, I believe. The graphite and sour water is output from this. And so if we look at, this is where the sour water will come out, and it needs to be able to go either straight over this, which is probably likely, or it needs to go that way. I could also process it I could just dump it in the water too if I didn't want to, but I like my pollution right now. I like the fact that I have 0 water pollution right now, and it feels really good to not have any. I'm actually really good on the air pollution too, to be surprised. But that's where that can go. The thing is, these aren't needed yet until I get the ship running. And it looks like to me, the ship has left. So it does have some coal that it's going to bring back, thankfully. And so we should probably get started with thinking about how that's going to get routed. So one of the things we could do with the coal supply on this side is I could make some storage for it. Now, I know people are going to say, well, use the big storage, but it really does not need big storage for this area. I mean, I could do it. It's just red parts, and red parts are going to take a bit, you know? Like, this is going to basically lock this down as coal, which is good. I do want coal here. So, like, I guess I'll do this one just to make the peanut gallery happy, but these ones might be more flexible. So we'll lock these two down as being coal for now. The only problem with attaching this, again, is there is zero flexibility here. So if for some reason I decide that I want maybe the whole thing to be quartz, you know, maybe we're good with coal over there and it's fine to have it routed all the way through here. Whatever the case is, if I decide to change these two things, I have to delete this tank. To where if I put this tank out a little bit, all I have to delete is a few pipes. There's a few belts. Like, it's easy. You know, so there's less flexibility in doing this, but and it's also red parts. I just don't like it. I'm gonna pass. It's more expensive to do this. I know it probably looks better to you, but it's more expensive to do that. It's probably easier to do this. It doesn't look as good, but it's the same amount of storage and it costs a lot less resources. Plus, I could do it with gold parts, which are ready right now. I think I like this better. I know you probably don't like it better, but I do. So I'm going to do it better like this. And then I'm actually going to change it up to be like this instead. There. So now we'll take the supply here. We're going to put it on conveyor belt 2 at this point, I guess. Which is red parts. I got to watch that. I don't think it's needed. Let's not do red parts here. So we'll go like this. And I want to go alongside here. I want to go underneath this pipe. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, no, stretch it right over into the water. I'm all right with that. Yeah, I can deal with that. All right, now we're going to lift this up. Because I don't want to block trucks, but it's going to eventually be right beside the pipe. So I think we'll lift this up to be height 2, and then we simply, I really wish I could get these things to line up. Like, impossible to get them to line up consistently. I believe that's what I need. Maybe one more over. Yeah, like this. Okay. So this is going to go under the bridge, and this is going to routing coal this direction, okay? So the coal is going to end up going out, over, so it doesn't get in the way of the trucks, and I have to watch that because the route that they have to move through here, I cannot obstruct this. It has to be reachable. So I might have to move this forward just a little bit more, or shift these to be over here. It's an option. I'm just kind of leaving myself open for more medical supplies, but to be honest, I can't imagine I'm going to double my population. And that's kind of what it's going to take in order for this to be needed, because I'm already making enough disinfectant. So yeah, I think we can probably just get away with being like here. Yeah, I leave enough room for one more maybe, but I don't think any more than that's going to be needed. So we'll go like this instead. Right, so the chlorine will wrap itself around, and we have this extra out right here that we can use. I just have to, you know, get it up high. Yeah, I was thinking about maybe just going across like this. And then I don't really want to go like in the middle here. So I think I'll follow the belt anyway, just because I can. And I know there's a little bit of a squiggle by doing that, but it gets it to where, yeah, I think I like that better. I guess the only thing I could do differently is to go height 3 and bring it across this, which might be cleaner looking. Let me see what that looks like. If I go height 3, let's hold on. Go 2 first to here. Yep. And then to 3. I just want you to be above this. Yeah. There's a little bit of a squiggle there, but can I get you to be above this without the squiggle? Oh, like that. There we go. Well, still a squiggle, isn't there? It could stick out like that. I don't know. It just needs to be above. This is probably better. Kind of the same. I don't care. I've decided I don't care anymore. We'll bring it around the top here. This is probably a little bit cleaner. Come on. Almost. Yep. Got it. And then we end up with it basically being here. And that's chlorine routed from the same storage all the way around into these 2 units. All right. So the coal will come through here and get dropped off. We're going to have a balancer put in. U-shaped balancer will be, I think, here. Right up against. I mean, it doesn't have to be right up against it. I guess we could get away with it being like this. U-shaped conveyor goes right into there. And then we end up with, I don't know what that is an in for. I guess it's for a different recipe. But this conveyor goes like this and in. This one goes up and in. And then this one is going to come out this direction. And we're going to wrap you up. Take you over at height 2. Yep. And then what we can do is connect you like this to that belt. So we'll go ahead and build these. The ship isn't back yet, so it's not like I'm in a hurry to build the big long one. But you know, if it starts to look like I need to, then fine. I could maybe get the storages done at least. And we could say that this is coal. Right? There we go. We get those storages done. So when the ship does come back, it will drop the coal off and then we'll start storing it, right? So what we need to do now with the ship is I need to go and open up this coal mine too. And I don't have a lot of workers, so I really do need to expand and get more people. And I mean, again, the goal was to do it over here. It was the worker expansion was this, and maybe we start it by looking at it right now. I don't think I can do it on the beach. It's just not gonna be easy to do. We have groundwater right here, so I don't really want to obstruct that, but we also don't need to use all the space. So if I put the town right here, I can have water pumps near it and send it off towards various different fields. And since this is already cleared of the trees, it's probably a good idea to do that. So why don't we maybe get this started? We can start by adding a couple of irrigated farms. Just these small irrigated farms. Smaller, I guess, irrigated farms. And we can put them as far over as it'll let me. So about here, I guess. Here and probably here. Let's go one more like this here. They don't have to be super fancy. Although, I'm thinking about it like the efficiency of things, right? The more advanced you go, the better the yield, right? Like this has 25% increase in yield, but 13% more water. This one has a 50% increase in crop yield, but it requires 25% extra water. So it's like, it just gets better as you go. My main reason for going for these though, is because of red parts. We don't have a lot, and I do have yellow parts now. And I can, again, always upgrade them later. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to start things off with kind of like your typical, potato field sort of thing on this side. We can maybe start with vegetables. They're a little bit more yield for a little bit less water, it looks like. So we could start with vegetables and then go potatoes Same thing we did here. It's basically like a fresh start on this side of the island. And so we'll go vegetables and potatoes. Or I could flip it and something like that, right? Now these are irrigated fields, so we could use fertilizer over here, but we don't need them. All right, so what we'll do is, and again, it's about workers at the moment. So what I really should do is just have the one and then maybe pause the others. Or let them build it, but just pause production on it. But we'll build this one. Then what I want to do is I want to get a groundwater pump, and it just needs to be over here close by, but not like super close. I don't want to like, I want to have the ability to have more fields. And so maybe I lay this out something like this instead. Maybe we'll go like, okay, hang on. So I do need to pinch over just a little bit to line them up. Or I could just not worry about lining them up. Do they need to be lined up? Well, what's the rule that says they need to be lined up? Well, the symmetry gods might speak loudly in my ear if I don't line them up. There is that. We could say remove. Yeah, we just get rid of that for a second and then go ahead and do this. Yeah, like this. And then we cut this and put it like this instead. We have enough room. Should be 5 squares between them. Yep. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Okay, so this will be like our sort of farming starter kit, I guess. And why don't we make this the field that gets built instead? And then we'll look to have the settings from this applied to the rest of these. But what we want is, I should be okay with them building them. Building them isn't a problem. It's that I don't want you to work them. So I mean, I guess if we're not going to work them, then why build them? Yeah. I don't believe the irrigated farms require maintenance, do they? It's very small. 2 every 60 seconds is really small. So I don't think that matters much. These fields are almost exclusively used for food. While we establish a new colony over here, we get more iron mining, more sand. We start getting more limestone, more coal, more copper. We set up our own productions all the way over here. Everything brand new over here. We just start using it with having everything researched already. And eventually we get to gold when we can start trading that. And eventually we also maybe get to the point where we can start drilling all this oil, which I think will be pretty cool as well. Okay, so I think, yeah, we'll go ahead and pause these. We don't need to build them if we're not going to work them. So we'll start by working this one. And then, so if it's right here, then we can do our groundwater pump and maybe put it on this side. We'll say maybe it goes here. I want to be closer to town a little bit, but I think we'll probably put it here and here. So 2 groundwater pumps are right here. Okay. We have 3 workers, which is just enough to work one of these. So we'll go ahead and build that one and pause this one. And then we'll simply have our water supply move up, and we'll go across like this. And we'll go to like maybe around here for now. We could... No, I can go that way. I don't have to wrap around or anything, so... We'll just leave it like this. So I'll put this over to here. It doesn't even need to be... It just needs to be kind of here. And the rest of this is pipe 1. And then that goes, you know, like this. And then you go like this. Yeah, whatever. It's fine. I could maybe do it like this instead. No. No, you're not gonna... You're gonna be a jerk, huh? Okay, cool. Yeah, no problem. I like jerks. These jerks are fine. Yeah, so now do it from here instead. That looks better. Okay, and then on this side, same thing. Go out from here and go into there. Okay, so we build this and we build this. And actually, I keep doing this. It's like I never learned my lesson, right? I really need to start learning my lesson on this. We need to have storage. Fluid storage would be a good idea. And we'll just put the storage right here next to this. So about like there. Real tight, it's fine. And then the water pipe can go up like this instead. We go to level 2, then we can have trucks go under here. Which I think is probably a better idea. At least like that, and then down. Yeah. Looks a little bit wonky, but it's going to work better. Okay, build that. And now we have sort of like the bare bones start to, you know, being able to have an irrigated field over here and get food supply started on this side so that we can have a little village, okay? And then I can start with housing. And let's see, if I was going to do housing, if I wanted to be somewhat close, I could do it maybe... I want to leave room for more fields potentially and more production. So how about we start it over here? We could say there, 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 and there, and there. It's not bad. I think I could get away with that. And these are just the basic settlements, right? They don't have a lot of stuff. They don't have a lot of requirements. They're just basic. And we'll let the trucks build them over time. And I think I'll go ahead just so I don't get a whole lot of people in trouble. I'll go ahead and maybe only build 2 of them for now with plans for more. And then we just need a water facility, which I guess I could maybe... Let's swap this over. Maybe go from over here instead. And then the water facility could be here. Do you want it here or here? This side? This side. Yeah, we'll go this side. That locks me down to not being able to expand that way, though. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to do anything else here because I want production potentially here. So I guess I've made in my mind it's going to be this side. And then we'll go ahead and deliver that so that we can then go in and deliver water to the people. And then this will just be height 2 to here. And then we'll just say that it goes to like here. And then we'll drop you down from there. Like that. And that'll provide water to the people who live here. Okay? Water's happening. Okay. Final thing we need over here then is a place for food. And so we'll have, if I can ever find it, yeah, food market 2. I guess we could do that. I could have maybe 2 food markets. Although the conveyor belts are going to be coming through this side, so they'll end up probably pushing into here. So we'll put this over here, I think. Of 2 food markets on this side. Deliver for one for now. Pause the other. And for now, you are going to have vegetables and potatoes. And we'll allow truck imports. And so what will probably happen is trucks are going to now be hauling resources over to here. So what I want to do is we're going to set a dedicated truck to the potatoes. All right. And what we're going to say is that you are going to send your potatoes with, it's a big truck, right? It's the yellow truck. You're going to send your potatoes to, because I did it again. You're going to send your potatoes over here. And we're going to have, I guess, more storages. So we'll say there's a storage. Let's go here. That'll be potatoes. And then we could also have another one for vegetables, I guess, be right here next to it. Which will not need to be this. It needs to be this. Most likely never fill up. I mean, really, we don't need a level 2 here either. It'll probably never fill up. So we can get these 2 storages in. And then you are for potatoes and you are for vegetables. Yeah. And so now I want to go back. Let's not do it here. Instead, we'll have the truck belong to this storage right here. And you're going to bring potatoes in from all the way over here because there's extra potatoes anyway, right? We're over our quantity of potatoes we can use. Oh. Storage has export route, but also has... got it. All done. Yeah, we're good. So we're going to allow truck exports now. So the truck should come over here, grab this, and take it over to that spot. And maybe I even put in an extra truck. I could give these two. So the trucks, the stuff that's happening over here, what we really want to make sure we're doing is we want to make sure that they have specific purposes. We don't want trucks as little as possible. And this is the problem with setting this up like this. As little as possible do we want this. Long distance running with trucks. So we want to be very specific. And eventually everything they need will be over here anyway. We won't even need this side of the island. And we can start producing more maintenance over here because you can see we're completely out of maintenance now. But we can start producing more maintenance parts over here, and that will help the entire island. You know, so now I have got to deal with maintenance again, which is basically shutting things off. But you can see coal has been delivered to these tanks successfully. We just have to start hooking up for fuel and getting fuel routed over here. At the moment, that's pretty much a truck thing. I think we're probably just going to tell this to be a global truck thing. So it's a work in progress. This stuff takes time to establish. And I can probably also turn this on, even though, well, coal is coming. Yeah, coal will be coming through here. And same thing with the chlorine. So we can really start making graphite and stuff now too. So I'll flip that on too. But I need to really buckle down and get steel under control. And that is going to be solved as soon as we have a reliable source of iron constantly coming in. And that's kind of what we have now. This just now started to be a thing with more of this iron starting to funnel through here. We should see the steel begin to catch up. And once that begins to catch up, it will go entirely to helping us recover in maintenance. That's the thing we have to recover right now is all of this. So I'm not sure how we have no food. What happened? Wait a minute. What? 0 months. Wait, what? You're high. You're completely, totally off base. You have no idea what you're talking about. Are they not allowed to eat here now or what? How, what? This makes no sense. Having 0 months of food makes no sense. I think it's full of shit. I think you're absolutely full of shit. There's just no way. The only way this is true is if it's just for these people. Okay, it's for these people specifically, which I like, you know, why are you moving over here? So if they starve, fine. If they starve, fine. But like these guys are set, all right? I don't, yeah, like, yeah. Well, these guys are fine. So you move over here too soon, and this is what you get, okay? We need to belt the resources into here and have all that stuff done. So I'm going to take care of that stuff while these guys suffer and die. And then the population will continue to grow from that side, and we will just keep having death, but they will only die on this side and not die on that side. For some reason, this is only reflecting... I mean, they're only reflecting the one settlement. It says 2 settlements, so I mean, it is organized, and the game is prepared to show you other settlements, but I'm just looking at this going, you know, there is no way that this settlement doesn't have food. So you're just lying. Yeah, you're just wrong. There's plenty of food in the belts, and all that stuff is here. So it's just about getting that truck to go and do it now. And the truck has to bring it to this, which I'd like to figure out where that truck is. You don't have a load, and you also don't have a load. Yeah, weird. Okay. Now that we have a lot of stuff traveling through here, I'm gonna flip this fuel station on, and I'm also gonna get one of the trucks to manage this to keep it full over here too, so that we have a constant supply of fuel in the middle ground too. So this part logistically becomes very difficult to manage, but again, once the steel gets sorted, and I think that's starting to happen now, we will begin to get maintenance a lot more reliably moving forward. So I'm just gonna let that run and let this thing do its thing. And it will work itself out. You got to trust the system sometimes. You got to trust that you know what you're doing and trust that, you know, all the math checks out and it should absolutely work. And so now that we have iron, right, that was the big problem, is that there was no iron coming in and like half of our steel production was offline. So that's now resolved. At least it should be. Yep, limestone, crushed iron, it runs. Yep, so all that stuff comes in. And as soon as this belt is full, which it is now, oh, you're full of slag. Oh, wait, huh? No, you're not. No, you're... Oh, you're disconnected. That's a potential issue too. I'll fix that too. I'll connect that back up where it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be connected to this one, so I just need to connect that back up. Guys, I'm gonna leave it here. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. I hope you have a great day. I end dysfunctional, and when we come back, I will have functional? ? See ya. Bye-bye.